If you have anything in your life that holds you back, say aye, if you could say aye.
Welcome to Digital Genius Radio, the #1 podcast focused on guiding you to becoming a certified digital genius. We believe you can have it all by mastering social media paid advertising. We spent the last 3 years studying the most brilliant marketers today and applying their techniques. We've broken free of the 9-to-5 and successfully built a 7-figure online certification platform. From working with hundreds of clients, we found that most are overwhelmed or scared to actually dive into paid advertising. And this podcast is here to give you the cheat codes so you can flourish with your social media channels. Join us and follow along as we continue to learn, apply, and share proven strategies, as well as give you the insights on how to win online with social media paid advertising. And now, here's your hosts, Chris Baden and Sean Malone.
We have special guest genius with us, Shane Carling. This dude is the man, the myth, the legend, the musician, the artist, the life changer, also a co-founder in something called the 7-Day Weekend Mentors, which is amazing. But tonight he's here to share all kinds of mind-blowing value about 6 things that hold most people back and how to crush them. Shane, I'm so excited to have you. How are you, man?
Oh man, I'm doing so good. And I want to just say thank you guys. I'm so excited to be a part of this show. And I want you all who are watching this to know one thing is that I fully intend to add some value to you that will change your lives and help you explode your business and your team's businesses, because it's not about your success, it's about your team's success. And everybody hits walls, and there's always a mindset, a soul set, and a skill set to get over that obstacle, okay? And I've gone through a lot of incredible journeys in my entrepreneurial career, and I'll give you a little fast track on my life and how I got here, because I think at all times in our lives we should ask ourselves, how did I get here? So I'm going to give you a couple little night and day stories here. So in my youth, I didn't have any friends. I was very socially inept. I know it's hard to believe. I was the guy that was so nervous, even around girls, which is funny because my wife is like the most beautiful woman on the planet. She's so amazing. But I remember one time in grade 12, I was so just fearful. And I never had any friends in high school. So there was this girl named Jenny that I kind of liked. And this one guy was like, well, you should go ask her out. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so he's like, just go and do it. Just go and ask her out. So I walk up to her, and I was this sweating, nervous, shaky mess. And I walked up to her, and I was like, ooh, and I just spewed. I barfed in my mouth. I was so nervous. Oh my gosh. And so she just thought this dude made this really funny face and kind of spat at her. Right? And I run away. And guys, so how did I get here? I just want to explain something. So that was awesome. But, you know, I didn't have any friends. So I didn't have any friends pulling me into some social direction. So when I got out of high school, I just got into the easily accepting crowd. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted. And so I got into the easy accepting crowd. I'm a musician. I always had a guitar. For me, this was how I vented. This is how I communicated. This is how I thought. And I had a guitar since I was like 9. So, I mean, I'm probably in the 20,000 hour club now. I don't know. But, you know, so I go home and play guitar. You know what I mean? But when I got out of school, I quickly found out, okay, I didn't try in school. I didn't have any good grades. I cheated my way. There's this girl who she would always give me the answers from math. And so I literally, like, I ain't qualified. You know what I mean? I didn't feel worthy of getting a good job. I ended up folding laundry at a hospital for $22 an hour. And then it was a union thing, and all these people came back, and all of a sudden I had no work. And so I started making some slippery slope decisions, got into the wrong crowds, wrong company, made bad decisions, and, you know, got into drugs and partying, and my life went right down. And I'll give you guys the long story short was I ended up at the very bottom of the most darkest abysses you could imagine, okay? Addicted to drugs, friendless, no family, isolated, living all by myself, didn't talk to anybody for almost 2 years, lived in the woods in a cabin growing pot for like a while, and then I got busted to throw all the crap on the pile. Like, that was me. I was the guy who screwed absolutely everything up. And so at that point, suffering from withdrawals. Oh yeah, and then the one girl who I was kind of with at that point in my life was cheating on me. So everything just straight up went to hell. And I had to ask myself, how did I get here? Now, I decided to change my life and just, you know the movie Yes Man with, what's his name, Jim Carrey? Just say yes. Okay, so I took a personal development course called Live by Design by this great guy named Troy Mitchell. And it was my first kind of thing, and I decided to change everything. I went to church, personal development, and I just started working on me, reading books and all that kind of stuff. Think and Grow Rich was one of the good ones. And so I started saying yes, and I took on opportunities as they would arise. I got into sales at a cell phone company. I had a fear of heights. Some guy offered me a job as a roofer. Figured that would be a great way to conquer that, right? Plus with a criminal record and not being able to work and having no education, basically roofing. You know what I mean? But I got over the fear of heights, got into this girl who I was at this personal development course with. Her name was Danae Johnson, who's now a TV show host for a bunch of cool stuff and does radio. She was sitting outside the mall one time, and she was doing some acting at this theater play called Quad. And so there was 4 actors, 4 characters, and each of us had to learn all 4 parts because the crowd got to pick who played what role at the beginning of the show. So basically, I went from working as a roofer to doing acting, and then a guy who worked at a cell phone store asked me if I wanted to go and learn sales all around the same time. So I had to learn 8 hours of script in 2.5 months. We ended up crushing that play out, and it was just awesome. And I was really grateful for those opportunities of just saying yes and conquering fear and conquering fear and conquering fear. I wanted to share my music with the world, so I moved to Vancouver 2010, and I didn't know, I had literally no friends here, okay? I was fish out of water, big city, very expensive. Just to give you guys some context here, it's one of the most expensive cities in North America to live. A 1-bedroom small apartment will cost you about $2,200 to $2,400 a month, okay? Now, at the time, I was making $2,400 a month at the cell phone store. So I had roommates, and it was a big mess. And, so it was really messy in my environment. And I was trying to get my music out there. I had no connections, no people, no nothing, didn't know what I was doing. And I was eating pizza and drinking coffee. Eating pizza because it was $1 a slice and I could afford that. Actually, this is and I was a gym guy. I'm like, well, it's got protein, it's got cheese, so that's dairy, and I got my carbs. And I would make sure I always got the deluxe because it had the green peppers. So I had my olives and my green peppers. So I had my vegetables. Actually, this actually somehow made sense to me. But I was actually so broke. I actually can't tell you. Okay, so I was, I'll give you, I'm going to confess some sins here too, so you really get to like me. So I used to have to break up with girls before it got past Starbucks because I only had like $50 in my bank account. And there was like no way I was going to be able to afford a dinner. So I was like, it's just, it's over. Done. Past Starbucks? What? No, I can't do that. Any idea how broke I am? This is not happening. So yeah, I mean, you're either going to love me after that or hate me, but I'm open to it. So, but again, I just kept going and saying yes to things. I met this health coach because my health, because of the pizza and the coffee routine, was really going downhill fast. He introduced me to this amazing water technology I'm sure we're all super familiar with, okay? Boom! 6 weeks later, guys, this guy put me on Kangen water, organic raw food, everything, and, it literally transformed my life. In 6 weeks, I went from feeling like just death and having no energy to feeling like Adonis, shooting lightning bolts out of my fingertips and eyeballs. I was like, and this had such a crazy impact on my health. I was lit up and I was playing guitar and I was so much more inspired and I was out there rocking things. Again, I wanted to get my music out to the world because in all those dark times and all the best times, I had this music and I knew that God gave me a vision and a mission to share this music with the world. I just had no idea how that was going to show up. And all of a sudden, I quit my job at the cell phone company and I gave this dude every last penny I had, all my savings, my pension plan, everything, just so he could teach me how to be healthy. And I ended up becoming one of the highest paid personal trainers in Vancouver, making $75 to $100 an hour all day long. It's pretty sweet. You know what I mean? That's not bad. And I met a lot of interesting people, dealt with so many people, helped so many people with their health transformation. Now, in that, I just want to explain something. So I started to realize that what I really, my dream was to crush out the time and the financial thing so that I could get back and stop being a yellow belly chicken and get back to the music. I just didn't know how that was going to look. But if you've ever done a personal training thing, you have no life Like, you're not allowed to have a life. You are a slave to your clients. And so I was running around building to building, building to building, building to building, trying to train people. And I had no time. I had money, just didn't have any time. And so the idea of network marketing and, online marketing was always there. I had a lot of friends who were very successful in that. And so I met this guy named Balaj Cardos, which is really funny story. At this crazy networking party, he was doing this cell phone company door to door. I remember he was driving this red minivan, and he was just like this hilarious dude. You know what I mean? So freaking funny. And he was always going like this when we were out drinking, and he was just a funny guy. Anyways, one day I was doing this protein shake network marketing deal for my clients on the side, and I call him up. I'm like, hey man, I got a way you can get, like, literally this is how it went down. I met him at like a couple weeks before at this networking thing, and all of a sudden this goes off my head. Call Balaj Cardos. And I was like, I think I should just message Balaj. Easiest sale of my life. I'm like, hey man, I'm doing this network marketing deal, and it can get you a black BMW. And he's like, stop right there, I'm in. I was like, really? Yeah, I just bought a BMW. Tell me how I get it for free. I'm like, sign some people up. I'm in. Okay, cool. So anyways, that stuff was a crappy product that just made us basically fart up a crap storm. So we just had to stop doing that. And we got into a coffee business, and I thought we were rocking this thing. We did that for like a year and a half, best buddies, rocking stuff. And then he was like, man, because I had a Kangen machine, you know what I mean? And he had one. And he was like, man, I'm going to go do a Nagic. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You can't just go and leave. You're my top guy. And he's like, no, man, I'm going to go do it. And I was like, but I got a machine. So who's going to join it? And his mom was already in that. So we're like, okay. So I says, if you make some money and you can prove that this thing works, I'm all in. I'm going to join. We're going to go do this thing. And so he made like $4,000 that month. And I was like, really? Okay, I'm in. So that was it. So I signed up under him, and we just did this thing. We rocked it. We had a lot of fun. We rocked it all the way to 6A, got him to 6A. And all these really amazing things happened because he got a bunch of online marketer guys on board, and all of a sudden all this amazing stuff started to happen, right? So really fun. Now, I just want to explain a little. In that process, we dealt with like thousands of people, okay? And I also, took a little sidewind journey and went on some other entrepreneurial paths that ultimately led me back into this. But I figured out a formula to just launch like people grenades, it's like, whoa, people growing, big, massive teams. Like I just took my business partner and I, and we just took another thing to like 5A in like not even a month, you know what I mean? A few weeks, we're like, boom, we're gonna be at 6A probably in like a couple more weeks. It's just crazy how but there's some things I want to teach you guys to do this, okay? Because I've been able to start fresh over and over and over again, okay? And sometimes people, like, they have their existing networks. I'm like, yo, I challenge each and every one of you that every single one of you guys can be thrown in Iceland, a brand new place, brand new people, not know anybody, and make a rock star business. Boom, just like that. There's a way to do it. But you got to understand some deep things that are holding people back. Now, where's my life at right now? For the last couple of years, I didn't even do anything. I was making over 5 figures a month residually. And, just through a deep spiritual question, meeting awesome people, like I'm hanging out on islands with guys who make well over $1 million a month all the time, and private islands, and flying all over the place. I was taking a vacation every 4 to 6 weeks, just hanging out and doing crazy masterminds at like, how do we change the entire world? You know what I mean? And it was just and I had to stop right there. I was like, okay, how did I get here? And then I was in Cabo, and I was, I had my guitar. This was in November, and we came up with this whole 7-day weekend mentor thing because I was like, I'm playing guitar. And all of a sudden I started having this absolute feeling of crap because I set out to pursue my music. I needed to crush the time, the financial thing. All of a sudden I had it. And I was like, what I did worked, but now what? Am I here? Like, where do I go? Is this it? Is this what it looks like? Guys, where you want to go isn't going to look the way you think it's going to look. It's going to be so much different, maybe so much better. But when you get there, how do you even know? You're just like, maybe you're already where you wanted to be already, and you just don't even know that. And now you have to do the next thing. And so for me, I was like, well, I got to do the music. So I came up with this idea of like every single day for the last year, XYZ, I've been living every day like the weekend. Like absolutely. Because what I do, I love what I do. I love, even if I'm doing this does not work. There's me on a meeting, on a presentation. None of that is work. Every day is fun. Every day is bliss. Every day is joy. Every day is love. And every day is so fulfilling. And every single one of you guys should have that mindset. Even if you work a job, even if there's something going on in your life, you have relationship, health, environment, anything like that. If you learn how to process things, which I'm going to get into, to literally live every single day, every moment right now, in this moment right now, it is the weekend for you. Okay. You can be free. You can be truly, truly free indeed. Okay. But it's how you're processing things. And, you know, I learned some stuff, and I want you to write this down. Okay. I want you to write this down. This is so important. And this is something I want you to really chew on, because this is going to affect everything that you do. And if you read this over and over again, every day, read this over again, I bet you this will change your life tremendously. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Guys on the screens here. The level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. I'll say it again so you can write it down. The level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. Now, if somebody's really good at typing, they can type all this out in the chat so other people who are in the chat can copy and paste it, okay? But I'm going to finish the whole thing here, okay? So the level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. The fastest path from where you are now to where you want to be is in the language you speak to yourself and others. The fastest path from where you are now to where you want to be is in the language you speak to yourself and others. What comes out of the mouth is the contents of the heart. What comes out of your mouth is the contents of your heart. Everything is a heart issue. What comes out of the mouth is the contents of the heart. Everything is a heart issue. And it all boils down to I want to be loved and I want to be worthy. Okay? It all comes down to love and worthiness. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive. Now, before I do any else, I want to reintroduce two new words to you guys. By introducing these two new words, it's going to help you understand how to shape the way and shift the way that you think. And also, it's going to be a fantastic way for you guys to help your prospects actually look at things in a right mindset. Objective and subjective. Okay. The word objective means to look at something simply based on facts as evidence appears. The word objective is to look at something as facts alone, with no emotion, with no opinion, with no bias, with no story, with no judgment. It's just simply looking at the facts. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example in a second. The word subjective is when we put a filter on stuff. Okay, this is subjective. I know Sean he was giving me a little bit of grief about all my pictures have sunglasses in it. And I says, but these are mirrored sunglasses, Sean, and it's really just, you can see yourself. So when you're looking at me, you're really looking at you, because all of us are one. But anyways, subjective is that when you're looking at something with an opinion, with a bias, with a story, with a narrative, with a judgment on top of it, okay? So you're putting your crap on top of things. And that's okay. Sometimes it's good, but most of the time, it's not serving you at all, okay? Now, another two words, responsive and reactive. Responsive is when you look at something, you're able to process it, respond in an appropriate way without being reactive or volatile, okay? Reactive is when you're reacting. Someone cuts you off, you call them a blah, 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 or you give them the bird, okay? That's called reacting. All right, now, are you guys, give me a thumbs up. Are you liking these two words? Why am I introducing these two words? Okay, I'm going to give you something else. This is going to be fun. I love triggering people. I love triggering people. Okay, I'm going to do one for you guys. This is going to be really, really fun. I'm being completely objective here, okay? I'm not asserting any positive or negative bias, okay? Now, are you ready? Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. Now, some people love Donald Trump. Some people do not like Donald Trump. That's okay. Those are both subjective. But what is really objective is that he is the president of the United States of America, correct? Okay, so if I say that, some people got so triggered, they're like, I don't want to listen to Shane again. Screw Shane. He's an idiot. He must be a Trump supporter. And they're off. Or some other people are like, I freaking love that guy. He's freaking sweet. I'm going to mail him like $10 million. Well, I'll give you guys my mail address later on. But I just want you to understand something, okay? Objective is where you want to be able to look at stuff. When you're talking to your prospects, when you're presenting, you know, a machine, you're presenting a business, an opportunity, what are the filters that are coming up? They're subjective filters. I don't have enough money. Their issues around money, all of their triggers, all of their subjective viewpoints, right? Objectively, you're looking at something as well. This product is X amount and is absolutely worth it. 100%, because it's this is the results that people are getting. These are great objective things, but people will judge themselves out or in. They judge you as someone who's just trying to make money on them. That's a subjective story. That's their crap, right? And what happens is you guys got to understand that when you can walk people through that, then you're going to be able to create a lot of transformation. Okay, now, simply even in your process, your sales process, to introduce those words to people, and then you tell them, hey, listen, I want you to pay attention to where you might be being subjective on things, and really try to look at this objectively, okay, just as the facts are, and I'm going to present it objectively, but pay mind if you're being subjective, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about where any of those subjective triggers came up for you so that we can help you work through those objectively. That right there, guys. Now, you've also planted some amazing, powerful seeds for them to start looking at the world in a lot more of a higher sense, because we wrap the world around our mind. Like, we identify ourselves as these thoughts. And I'm going to get into all of the 6 things in a second here, okay? But you got to realize that objectively, you are not your thoughts, okay? Like Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. Fantastic book to read. I love like a good reset with some Power of Now, you know, at least once a month. Just listen to the audio book. It's this little ding bell, you know, it's so sweet. And you listen to it, ding, you're like, oh, class is on, the teacher is speaking, get ready, okay? Because, guys, your thoughts come up. Your thoughts are subjective. If you're feeling anything other than love, joy, and peace, which is what you feel in a meditative state of calmness, being earthing, mindful meditation, okay? If you're feeling anything other than that, sadness is thought. Anger is thought. Revenge, judgment, you know, malcontent, anything, mockery, scoffery, anything that is other than love, joy, and peace that you feel being present is when you are identifying who you are as thought. And people have these thoughts, and they just wear their thoughts like a thought helmet, but it's not actually who they are. Has anybody here, show their hand, ever got stuck in a loop thought cycle? Where you're just thinking about something, that relationship, that addiction, that environment, that relationship, that's something going on in your life, okay? Well, guys, if you really truly understand that there is an awareness of the people you're talking to, they are light that has deceived itself as identification with thought, fears, programs, subjectivity, okay? They've got confused, and they forgot who they are. They're not being light right now. They're looking at the world. They're looking at you like this. Sean, I think you're a great guy, but, right? Like thought, subjectivity. And your prospects are going through this process as they're trying, because they're like, you know, look, they're dealing with stuff going on in their life. There's an addiction happening in their life somewhere. They're tight on their budget. They're maxing out their credit cards. Things are going all over the map. People's lives are a freaking disaster, and they're trying to look at some opportunity that's going to save them. And then they try opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, thinking that the what will save them. It's never the what. The what is important. I mean, you make sure that you're doing something legal, moral, and ethical and long-lasting and good, but it's not about the what. It's how you show up and how you flow through things. You can have a million things happening to you, but if you know how to look at things objectively, and if you've developed the tools to process things that are happening to you, then you can stay on point. But when you get taken off point, when you're not being productive, when you find yourself stuck, there's always a reason. There's always something that's holding back, and it's 100% it's you. It's always you, because you're allowing yourself to get stuck in these thoughts. Now, here are the 6 things. Write these down. Number 1, addictions. It could be sex, drugs, rock and roll, Facebook, scrolling, trolling. It could be partying. It could be chasing members of the opposite sex. You know, it could be like so many things that just fight for your mental territory. When you get stuck in a loop, a circular thinking, a circular thought, that's also an addiction. Okay, because you're getting little dopamine kicks by wrestling out that argument, or, you know, that thing, or that debate, or that television show, or whatever it is that's taking up your mental real estate, which is extremely valuable, precious mental real estate. Okay, your mind should be used as a tool to get things done. But it's so easy for the mind to get stuck in these little vortexes of just thinking, right? And even that in itself is an addiction. Okay. Abby says, preach. All right, here we go. I'm bringing out some more. All right. The number 2 is negative relationships. Right? Has anybody had a bad relationship? What was that like? Remember when we were like 15 or like 8, whatever. I mean, for me, I was like 20 or whatever. I don't want to tell you guys how old I was because I was such a dork. But, you know, you guys, does anybody remember the first few like rocky road relationships where it was like, you know, just like not so great, not so healthy, maybe not so expedient. Okay. And how many hours a day did you spend like dealing with the crap? And some people might still be going through that, by the way. I'm not judging anybody. Again, no judgment here. This is just straight objectively. So these things come and take our place, and they take up a lot of time. The next one, and this is huge, environment. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Okay? Now, in 2014, I decided to rent a penthouse. It was huge. It had a freaking balcony in the living room. It was massive. Downtown Vancouver. This was not cheap. So to make it work, I had to have a couple roommates. I just decided I wanted a penthouse, and now the first batch of roommates were freaking awesome. But unfortunately, I signed this whole year contract, and then like 3 months in, these guys couldn't afford their bloody rent, and I was stuck, so I had to go and get anybody I could get. And I got a guy who was an oil rig worker. Whoops. And another guy who worked at the nightclub. So, yeah. Old bad habits came back quick and in a heartbeat, because they just brought, it was just really bad. Okay. So I quickly, you know, I learned that your environment exceeds your willpower. Okay. If people are bringing things around, doing things, partying, you're going to be so distracted. I thought it'd be good for my business for a short term. It was, because people come over and like, oh my gosh, you're in this penthouse. I'll just do whatever you're doing. And they would just buy my machines. You know, it'd be so awesome. But then I got so distracted. I just like pitter-pattered out and I was dealing with crappy roommates, and my life literally became super reactive, and it was not good. Okay. I had to get the heck out of there. Thank God. Actually, it's kind of funny. I met my wife. She showed up at one of the music jam night parties. I bought a piano and all these instruments, and I invited all these people over to come play music. And then one night she was in there, she saw me, and then as soon as we met, she was like, you need to move the hell out of here, man, or we ain't gonna be together. And so I was like, okay, well, cancel the penthouse and let's just go somewhere else. And yeah, so good things happen there. Thank God for my wife. Oh, by the way, wives are amazing. So I just wanted, that's another one. Okay, so here's another one, guys. Pride. Your people do not know how to ask you if they need help, or they don't know how to ask you for help. And you don't know this. But there's a million things that are going on in their lives. A lot of people are truly struggling, and they're not telling you. They're not telling you what's going on. They don't, you know, and so I'm going to give you guys the tools to ask questions, to just not like pry and be invasive, but to let people in you. And maybe I can just tell you right now, you need to let people in your team really know that they can trust you, that they can be confident in you, that they can confide in you, and you're not there to be a therapist, but you're there to be a friend. because the meaning of life is relationships, guys. And we all got a lot of crap to work through. None of us are free. None of us are like have actually made it. You know what I mean? None of us are perfect. We're all going to have stuff that's going to show up and happen in our lives. And it's going to happen again. And then you get to a certain place, you're at the new level. And then guess what happens? New devil, baby. You better get ready. And then it's going to be like new set of circumstances, a new set of challenges. And it's really easy for people to kind of relapse, to go back into old mindsets and old paradigms that we're not self-serving them. So to be a loving coach, a mentor, to be that person, that confidant that they can always confide in, they can open up to, you're going to have, like, I've got some of the most incredible friendships from this industry, guys. I just want to let you know, like, your best friends are still yet to be had, and you'll never have non-best friends. Everybody's a best friend. The other one, victim. It's your fault, Sean. Sean, are you making money? It's your fault. I joined this program, and it's like, you didn't support me, and you didn't do the things I needed to get, and, you know, I don't feel like I'm getting everything I need. Guys, victim. So we all seen it, and maybe at certain times we've all played it, okay? But it's if you're ever looking and blaming anything that's external, okay, and you catch someone who's doing it, so it's not to make someone who's playing the victim card wrong. By the way, it's not about making someone right or wrong. It's about understanding their paradigm and letting them know that you truly understand that, and help them shift out of that victimhood to learning to step into personal responsibility. Okay? I think that personal development is fine for, you know, to a certain degree. But what's really going to step everybody's life up, guys, the whole personal development thing needs to evolve into personal responsibility. Personal responsibility, okay? Above and beyond everything, personal responsibility. Accept that you've made your life and you are where you are. It's 100% you. I was 100% me. I did 100% of the things, all good, bad things, whatever. That's on me, okay? And I throw it on myself. That way I'm never looking outside. And I always say, if I want to change my circumstances, I need to change me, okay? It's never someone else. It's always me. And when you get to that level of total personal responsibility and releasing everybody, all expectations from anyone else, and you allow it to be on you, then you have power. But when you blame and you look at other things and other people and you're like, well, it's not because of that, and you compare and you contrast and you vilify, then you're trying to move forward in life while you're holding on to this giant bag of crap and taking it with you. Okay? You are not free. You can never be free if you're looking outside of yourself for where your situation in your life is at. But when you take it all and just say, this is me, baby, I got this, everything good, bad in my life, 100% me, then you can truly be free because you release everything. It doesn't matter because now you can be present in the moment rather than letting your thoughts spin and get into circular motions around why this or why that or why them or why they. Okay? And this is another one. Okay. How many of you are actually being present with me right now? And how many of you have, while I was even talking, allowed your mind to go into la la land, or looked on Facebook, or looked at some text messages, or looked at something, or did something else for even just a brief moment? That's called multitasking. How is that showing up in all areas of your life? Again, going back into personal responsibility, nobody can run a race while they're cross-eyed. Like, you know, imagine some guy trying to like run like this, or someone who's texting and driving all the time. They're more likely, they've made texting and driving illegal, okay? But some of y'all multitask. You're trying other companies. You're trying to do this. You're trying to dabble. You're trying to do things over here. I have never, not once, out of anyone I've ever met, seen anyone who can successfully do two things at once. You can kind of half-ass some things, but do you guys want to like be a rock star at one thing and just be boom, like crush it and be totally free in that and own it completely and go 100% with 100% of your mind and 100% of your focus and 100% of your heart and soul and get the fruit and live that fulfilling, purpose-filled experience? Or do you want to like kind of half-ass like 2 or 3 different things? 5 or 6 different ventures, what you got going on. While you're totally over here, you're doing this, you're kind of doing that. Guys, I want you to understand something. A plane to take off the ground needs to go 100%. Okay, it's got like boom. When you get to a certain when you're altitude, hey, you can back off. You don't need to do 100%. But now it's time to, how can you take it to another plane? How can you take it to another level? Okay, but many people right at the beginning, because they get the glitter vision, the shiny object syndrome. Oh, Mark over there, he made 50,000. Well, this opportunity doesn't work, so I'm going to go join Mark over there. And then they get into that, and then because you get caught up in the what, thinking it's the what. And again, going back to personal responsibility, it's never the what. What is important, okay? It's important. But it's how you are showing up and how you are flowing. The reason I've been able to have success is because I am focused. I absolutely cut things out and go like this, okay? Now, when I get to certain levels, I was like this for like 5 freaking years, okay? Like my analogy, boom. I make stupid money. And I'm okay now, you know what I mean? And it was worth it. And all the people who decided they were like this for a little while, and then they're like, oh, I don't think it's working. I don't know if it's working. And all of a sudden they're like, ugh. And they took that. And I was like, dude, you were like right here. You were right there. And you stopped, and you should have just kept going. But they didn't. And then guess what? Then you see them in the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. There's some dudes that I talk to all the time, like 6 years later, and they still made a freaking dollar. I'm like, well, yeah, but I've seen you in like 50 different companies. How's that working for you? You know what I mean? You got to show up, guys. You got to flow up. You got to be focused. You got to not multitask, okay? Focus is an acronym. Follow one course until successful. Then you can do what you want. Like for me, it was get to that point and then get to my music, okay? And I decided, it was kind of funny. So now I'm going to get to the music. But how? I'm going to get to the music by helping other people get to their music, right? By helping them show up and flow up and succeed, tapping into this amazing DGL community and all you bunch of badasses, okay? But because this is like, seriously, you guys have no idea how blessed you are. I mean, I've seen other things that, man, you guys just got such a heart-centered, crushing it killer team here. I'm so excited. I see the stuff that's going on. I'm like, man, like when Sean and Chris and I know I'm just going off for Sean here, but when we met, I was like, dude, these guys are straight talking our language. Like they just totally get, we're so on point and the same language. And at a certain point, I just want to tell you guys this, is there is a means, like the ends, I don't know how to describe this, but at a certain point, whatever your passion is, okay? For me, it's music. Maybe for you, it's golf. Maybe for you, it's art. Maybe for you, it's building, never thirst wells. For someone else, it could be building schools, building orphanages. At a certain point, you need to think about what your end needs, how much money. Okay, I'm going to reverse the building. How much money do you actually need to make to get to where you have enough money coming in to actually get to the part of your life that really scares you? Because building your business can actually become a comfortable thing. And that was my thing. I was like, oh, but I got to go and play guitar. All my programs and fears come back. I'm like, nobody's going to like your music, Shane. You just play guitar. Who are you? You can't do da-da-da. You're not worthy. I'm like, this is the stupid stuff that comes up in my head. Like, who the heck is that Shane? That's the Shane that barfed in his mouth talking to a girl grade 12. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get over that crap. And so for me, I'm just like stadium status. How am I going to do that? Well, get your music out through a bunch of marketers by helping them market and freaking have a whole fun time. And then next thing you know, you're playing on stage at Grant Cardone's 10X event or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's just freaking hit it and go big. So I'm not even thinking about how my music, I'm thinking of how I use this business as a vehicle to get to a certain level where I've helped enough people that enough people follow the story in the music so that they show up in a stadium and everybody gets it and everybody knows each other. And it's just this amazing, beautiful family kind of thing. And so thinking like 10X, but again, the reason I've been able to work through these things, the addictions, the negative people, negative relationships, the environment, the pride, the victim, multitasking, the answer for all of it is personal responsibility. The answer for all of it is personal responsibility. Know your priorities, okay? Know your priorities and don't play small on yourself because all of these things are just cop-outs. They're They're cop-outs. You're playing small in your life. You have so much more capable potential inside of you. You have so much more capability than you could ever imagine. And I promise you, I actually can stone cold guarantee. I don't know how I'm going to honor the guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, I'll give you $5. Just send me your email address. If this doesn't work for you in 10 years, okay? But trust the process, and it's easier than you think. It's absolutely easier than you think. When you actually walk in alignment and congruency, and that's a big one. Walk in congruency with your highest values. Walk in integrity. Walk in honesty. Be vulnerable, okay? Don't hide stuff. The stuff that you're not saying to your spouse, the stuff that you're not saying to your friends, the stuff that you're hiding deep within, your secret stuff, the private stuff you don't want anybody to know, the stuff that you're hiding is hurting you. It's hurting you so much, and it's holding you back, and you're disconnected. But look, I don't care about telling people about how I was addicted to drugs. I don't care. It doesn't shame me. You know, shame is like the lowest. Go read this book, The Maslow's Hierarchy of, and you realize that shame is of the devil, man. It is the lowest frequency thing. And why you want to hide stuff? Why hide anything? And now going back to what Michelle was saying, and thank you, Michelle, because I mean, what you said was so on point about, like, those are great ways to help clean the energy, is mindful meditation. Right? Mindfully meditating and really learning how to process and clean things. So anyways, I wanted to hit you guys with some value tonight. I hope you got some good takeaways. I hope you understand that personal responsibility trumps personal development, and all you need to do is look within, guys. You have absolutely everything you need. Stay absolutely focused. Things are going to come up, but if you understand how to reach out to people and how to ask good questions for the people who you're prospecting, the people who are in your team, learn how to get them to look at things objectively and responsively rather than being hidden and subjective and reactive. If you can open those doors for them by being vulnerable yourself, you're going to get them to open up, and you're going to have a much more heart-connected business, and people are going to love you. They're going to trust you. They're going to follow you. They're going to confide in you. They're going to become best friends with you, and they're going to grow with you, and they're going to go with you, guys. Okay? Yeah, so there you go. Boom.
Thanks for listening to Digital Genius Radio. We'd love it if you could share our podcast with 3 others that you think could get some value from it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and remember, hit that notifications button so we can alert you for each new episode that comes out. You're on your way. You've gained knowledge and you've gotten smarter. You're becoming a certified digital genius. To continue on the right path, go to challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com and prove you have what it takes. Again, that's challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com. Enter your name and email and get started becoming a master of your own destiny.